Everyone uses Claude Code for coding, but here I build a personal AI system that turns my daily goals into a calendar events automatically. You know this idea of atomic habits where you stack your small habits? I do that with my goals. I review them every morning. The thing that AI makes this process effortless and fun. In this video, you're going to see a live demo of my morning routine from A to Z. All right, let's start. Here I have my cursor open and I run Claude inside of it. I start my morning routine by running main command for this workflow, which orchestrates all of the steps for it. Now, here you can see the agent start working. Actually, what it does, it opens my Spotify, right? And it opens my Pomodoro app. So it does a breathing exercise. What you see here is a Pomodoro timer where I can take my notes. That's great. Now, it also opened my Spotify, and the agent right now reconstructing my yesterday, what I've been doing yesterday. And now here you can see yesterday snapshot, what was happening yesterday. That information is just gold. This is the data worth so much value. When you do that, it's 3 days reconstructions of patterns. The question is, how do I get this data? I use this Pomodoro timer, which allows me to take notes during my working session. And for example, I can just start recording something or my thoughts, my learnings after I've done my Pomodoro timer and take a voice note that's going to appear immediately. That's how it works. At the end of the day, I export this data into a JSON file, which agent reads, and it has all of the context about my previous day, how much time I spent doing that. And this enables this reconstruction of my day. Now, the next step is reflection. So I'm going to guide you through that. That's a morning check-in where because I already have done my morning check-in, so I'll just switch to other chat. So here is my previous chat, which I've done today. And you can see that the morning check-in asks me questions about who I am, what I'm excited about today, how did I sleep, what is my energy levels, and asks me about morning focus. Then I start answering those. What it enables me is to just gather the context about what's happening. This is very valuable because I've just seen my reconstruction of my patterns for my last 3 days, and now I can have reflection about those and answer those questions and how do I change my approach today. That's the value. And after I answer those, AI agent creates this morning check-in file with structured metadata about my mood, energy, and all of my voice notes captured. I make this process explicit. Each morning I see the goals I have, and the AI agent helps me to make one step at a time towards reaching that goal. Now, let's look at example of the goals. I'm finishing my PhD, I'm graduating soon. For example, it asks me about doing some calculation, right? It asks me about follow-up. I also want to find a job, and right now it kind of reads those goals files and it asks questions which are going to move me one step towards reaching that goal. And here how it looks in Obsidian. Obsidian enables to see those goals in a nice way. For example, you can go into find a job at a startup goal, and here you can see all of the context captured about what I've been doing, and this way agent knows what's going on. Another thing which I do is experiments. Experiments are different from the goals. The goals is something that you want to achieve, but experiments is something that you just want to try and see what happens. For example, I do my health log, and here agent asks me about the progress on that experiment and enables me tracking these experiments every day. And I have a similar Obsidian base for those experiments. Here we have a YAML Frontmatter, and agent filters by the goals which I review only like every morning. Once the agent has those files, it pulls the last 3 logs from the experiment log. After we provided our answer and reviewed our goals, the agent updates the logs. I have a Python script which just adds the log to those goals and experiments rather than reading and updating those files. That's much cost efficient, much faster than reading and updating each file. That's where the magic happens. Now we are coming to a scheduling process, something tangible that we can execute based on all of the context regarding our goals and experiments. The agent creates a schedule for us based on my working rhythm. A working rhythm is a file which defines how I work, when I usually wake up, when I usually grab dinner. So I don't have to tell agent each time that, okay, the lunch is at that time, and here is the actual schedule which agent proposed. But of course, it's not always ideal, and I've made some changes to it. And we go back and forth to figure out what would be the optimal. Once we kind of figure out optimal schedule for me, agent, what it does, it interacts with my calendar app and creates those events. And here is the events which were added in my calendar. You can actually see them. Yeah, and here are the events. So you can see all of that. The agent can also do reminders if you are using Apple. So it's also a convenient way to set reminders for something. In the end, I also create a daily tasks file, which helps me to track the progress beyond calendar for all of my tasks, which we discussed. I think that's interesting part as well is to see how it works under the hood. You have this main file, you have a step-by-step process defined. Each sub-step has its own / command. Here I have a custom / command to review my yesterday. Here I have a / command for morning check-in, for goal reviews, and scheduling my day. Now, what it enables really ability to orchestrate complex workflows like that in a small main file, which you can clearly read and understand. It's very light, right? You can clearly see what's going on, and you just tell the agent run this / command, run the other / command, and it makes also those workflows reusable. For example, I might want to review my goals during the weekly review, and I can just use this custom / command. Here, I've been quite consistent. I've been doing that every day, and it really sticks. It's really fun and enjoyable to work in this way. I've been doing that for like 4 months, and that's truly exciting. I haven't done really the digging into the patterns, but I think that's another opportunity. With all of that context, you can extract the patterns of how you work. What are your patterns that holding you back? As a bonus, I want to show parser for conversations with AI agent. And here is the example what you can do with having all of that context. I build a Python script for parsing the conversations with Claude Code. Can you list conversations which I've had today? You can see that it's a script, and what it does, it lists the conversations which I've had in my Obsidian vault. For example, you can see the commands which I run. I can actually tell the agent, extract all of the voice notes which I provided during this morning routine. And let's see how it works. Today I had a morning routine around 10 a.m. Can you please extract all of the voice notes from it? Hopefully it can extract my messages. Then it extracts all of my messages which I provided. And now this becomes a reusable context. With your answers, you can now just go ahead and do something. So right now, all of these ideas becomes actionable, and I can start executing them within this chat. That just shows the power and flexibility of having those agents operating locally in your computer. That's been truly like game changing for me. That changes the way I work and I interact with the computer. Now I don't even go into ChatGPT. I stay completely locally, and I work in Cursor, in IDE, and Claude Code full screen. And I'll want you to invite for my Discord community. You can ask questions, you can chat about the different non-coding use cases you use for Claude Code. How can it helpful for you? What value does it provide for you? And of course, as always, GitHub link in the description for all of the workflows which I run today. Now you know how to build your atomic habits using Claude Code. And in the next video, we're going to explore how Claude Code helps me to find a job.